Hi everyone, this is my first video on this channel. I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribed and liked this video. Also feel free to discuss this story in the comment section. Thanks. This case took place in Russia over 10 years ago. On January of 2013, the police reported the dismembered body of a woman found in the trunk of a car. Earlier that month, a man posted on his social media page that his wife had left and never returned, leaving him and their 3 children behind. This man's name was Irina Kabanova. He asked for help on the internet, and volunteers immediately joined the search for Irina, his wife. Internet users from all over the country responded to this case, and no one suspected that this concerned and grieving husband could turn out to be a cold-blooded killer. Everyone sincerely sympathized with him. People even admired him. 3 children, his wife was missing, but he was holding on. Hundreds of messages of support appeared on the social networks every day. Volunteers from the Laser Alert organization joined in, and a reward of 300,000 rubles was announced for the information about Irina's location. Alexei constantly thanked everyone for the help and responded to every message in his social media page. Irina and Alexei met on the television. They worked together in the editorial office of the very popular show at the time. Irina was a content manager and Alexei was some kind of a marketing specialist. They got married in 2010. After the wedding, the couple tried to build their own business. Irina even sold her apartment, which was left to her by her father. She also borrowed a large amount of money from their colleagues and never gave it back. Since both Irina and Alexei deceived many of their colleagues, they had to quit their jobs. The business collapsed and there was barely enough money to live on, but nevertheless they continued to live beyond their means and even hired a nanny for their 3 children. As it turned out, it was the nanny who last saw Irina alive. It was in the afternoon of December 31st. Tatiana helped the couple to assemble a small table and then went to her own family to celebrate the new year. On January the 4th, when the babysitter arrived again, Irina was no longer there. Alexei behaved nervously, constantly drinking coffee and smoking. This did not seem suspicious to Tatiana. She concluded that the man was worried about the disappearance of his wife, but there was something in his behavior that couldn't help but seem strange. She recalls that all day on January the 4th, he did not let her or the children into the bathroom. He said it was broken, but she noticed that he somehow managed to lock the bathroom from the inside, and all the time he was sending Tatiana and the children outside to go for a walk. There were a few other weird signs, so throughout the day Alexei took out large bags with garbage from the house. And more than that, he didn't go out on the balcony with Tatiana, although he used to smoke only there. Instead, he started smoking in the bathroom. It seemed that he was simply afraid to go out on the balcony, where his wife's body was lying in large black bags. So, in the first days after Irina's mysterious disappearance, Tatiana continued to believe that the mother of 3 children could really leave home. Moreover, Alexei tried his best to deflect suspicion from himself. He even claimed that Irina took her keys and passport with her, like it's possible that she went to another city. And that's where he screwed up for the first time. On the 6th or 7th of January, Tatiana noticed that the youngest child, a 2-year-old Dasha, was playing with Irina's keys. It turned out that her brother gave them to her, and he found them in one of Irina's handbags. When Alexei saw this scene, he turned white but didn't say anything. After that, Tatiana's anxiety began to grow. She noticed that the knives hanging on the magnetic tape in the kitchen were badly bent. All the sheets disappeared from the closets, and when a toolbox fell off the shelf one day, the man literally pushed Tatiana away from it. Later, the police would find out that he hid Irina's passport there. Tatiana informed the investigators about all her doubts and observations. When they heard about the keys, the knives, and the locked bathroom, they convinced her not to tell Alexei about her suspicions and not to ask unnecessary questions. She could just quit this job and leave for some place safe, but Tatiana stayed. She already subconsciously realized that Alexei killed his wife, but she couldn't leave the children. She even kept them dressed so that if Alexei suddenly wanted to deal with them too, they could jump out into the street and immediately run to the police. But luckily, the end was near. In the afternoon of January 11th, Alexei went to interrogation in a car that he borrowed from his friend. A few hours later, he was detained. The police asked him to show them the car. He opened the trunk and became nervous when the police began to pick up the packages. He even asked them not to touch the bags. A minute later, he confessed. He said that Irina and he had a fight, and he strangled her to death. After realizing what he had done, he decided to get rid of her body and tell everyone that she had left him, so the children wouldn't lose him too. After all of this was discovered, the friends of the family wrote on the social media that the couple often had fights. Irina lived in Moscow illegally. She was a citizen of Ukraine. Alexei blackmailed her and promised to hand her over to the authorities if she would file for the divorce. She didn't want to lose her children, so she always stayed. In December of 2013, Alexei was sentenced to 14 years in prison.